Hello, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. So, I'm trying to do this thing where I want to upload more videos on my YouTube channel and just be more consistent. You know what I mean? So, I just wanted to talk about now, before I get into this video, know that I'm not attacking anybody. Know that these are only my thoughts and I just speak from a place of love. But have y'all heard of the decentering men, talking point on YouTube? Now, if you haven't, I strongly suggest you look into it. So, what decentering men essentially is, it does not mean that you hate men. It doesn't mean that you're a misandrist. It doesn't mean that you're not open to dating. All it means, or at least for me, it means that I prioritize, I guess, my career, my goals, my happiness, my peace, all of that, my friendships, my family, over wanting to be attractive for a man, over wanting to be picked by a guy, over lamenting over the fact that I'm not in a relationship that other people can, see. I think it's so important for trans women to decenter men, especially. And the reason I say it's important for us to decenter men is if you're in the early stages of your transition and much of your identity and self-esteem is based on that male validation or the male gaze or whether or not you can find a partner and whether or not guys find you attractive, if that's the base of it, and I understand that that's sometimes a normal part of humanity or even femininity, wanting to be desired, wanting to be chosen. But I think for trans people, realistically, so many of the guys that interact with us are really trying to live out a fantasy. And I've seen so many times where girls, I had this one friend and she met this American dude and she fell head over heels in love with this boy. She wanted to do everything he wanted to do. But for him, he just wanted to hook up with a trans girl. He got that, but the minute she wanted more from what she assumed was a relationship, that's when he started calling her crazy and pushing her away because he never actually wanted her. Instead, he was looking for the sexual gratification that her body would bring to him. And here she was, and I've been in situations like this where I've offered myself and gotten nothing in return, not love, not compliments, nothing. The problem is the guy he's left with, this great feeling of satisfaction. And most trans girls that are not escorts or, out running these streets, a lot of us that are trying to meet people, I know with myself, I tend to fall instantaneously and madly in love as soon as I'm talking to someone. And I'm planning our future and our babies and all of that. But guys aren't like that. Guys are not looking at um, the first woman that they meet or the first trans woman that they meet planning to get married. Half of the time they just want to see, Penelope down there. Which is why, like, I think so many of us end up going into, like spicy work. We go into becoming courtesans or high end escorts. Because the reality is, once you've gone through maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 different guys, and none of them really care about you, they just want to use you, it leaves an indelible, bitter mark in your soul, and it changes you. And that's why, like, for me, like, I kind of, in a weird way, I've kind of always decentered men and focused more on my transition and getting this goal and that goal and that goal and that goal. But the funny thing is, even when I thought I was decentering men, I didn't call it that at the time. A lot of the surgeries that I wanted to do were surgeries that I thought would make me more attractive to a guy. I'll be honest, I wanted to have the SRS because I assumed if I'm going to become a woman and that's what guys like, that's what I should get. Never mind what I felt down there or how comfortable or uncomfortable I was with my body. I wanted to do so many things that I think, society tells us is going to make us happy. Society tells us, oh, if you do this, you're going to find love, you're going to find appreciation. Let me tell you something. The minute you start getting super huge boobs for the purpose of the male gaze, once you start getting a BBL for the purpose of the male gaze, and you dress in a specific way for the purpose of the male gaze, you actually are not going to attract the normal guys. You attract the worst parts of men. Because essentially, men have this Madonna whore complex where they place all women, including trans women, in that category. And by being male-centered and dressing in a way that you think men are going to like, acting in a way that you think men are going to appreciate, doing everything in your life so that you can be chosen, your goals, the things you want to achieve, the things you need to be doing, like school, work, transition stuff, learning a new language, girl, I don't know. But like those things get put to the sideburn because suddenly, all of your thoughts are about how can I win this person over? How should I dress to attract them? How can I thirst trap them? Let me tell you something. All you have to do as a woman is, girl, go stand outside a coffee shop for 5 minutes. There will be a guy who's going to come and talk to you, I promise. You do not have to do the most. You don't have to center men because essentially men already center women in a lot of ways. And the problem, I think especially with trans women, when we center men, it often leads to us being unalived. I remember a time needing male validation so much that I would actively not tell people that I was trans because I still needed that level of validation. So, I don't know, girl. Like, for me personally, I'm not saying hate men. I love men. My nephews will one day grow up to become men. But I have cousins, I have nephews, and I have dogs too. And I know how they run around. And it is what it is, you know. It's not to say anyone is bad. I guess what I'm trying to say is once you center your entire life, all your goals, all your hopes, all your dreams, everything that you are, gets centered in this potential man, oh, girl, you gonna get old before you find that man. So I really think, as this trans women, we really need to be spearheading the movement for decentering men. Because how often is it that we are either unalived by a DL man or a trans attracted guy, or we will be in, you know, relationships with these guys and they will want to claim us. The minute they're accused of being with us, they suddenly want to beat us up. It's not worth it. It's not worth it, girl. It honestly isn't worth it. I would say decenter, man. Focus on your surgery. Focus on your version of perfection, on your version of the ideal trans woman you want to be. And then the right person's just gonna come chasing you down. You're not gonna have to be a pick-me, changing yourself to try and get this person. No, your people, there's nothing you could do that could make you, you know, bad for the right person. And there's nothing you can do that can make you good enough for the wrong person. So there's no need to be a pick-me, and there is no need to center men in our lives, especially as trans women. Center your mental health, center your relationships, like friendships, center your transition, center your medication. Focus on that, and all these other things will come, I promise. Anyways, I love you so much, you guys, and I kept it short. I'm getting better at this, I promise. Anyways, bye. Love you all, including all you guys out there.